Hello, nerds, and welcome to Into the Wild, your favourite wildlife and conservation podcast.
This is a podcast where you get to hear about all the nature, wildlife, and conservation news from around the world. We do all the hard work for you, so it's just in a nice little half-an-hour package.
I am your host, Ryan Dalton, and the voice you just heard is Nadia Sheikh. Before we get on today's show, I would like to remind everyone, if you really want to help out this podcast, you can do one of two things, or preferably both of them. Whatever platform you're listening on, if you can give a review, please do. And the second thing is, we have a coffee link in the write-up of this episode. If you would like to support the show by giving us a one-off tip or a monthly support, you can do so by following that link.
Nice. Do both of those. They come as a pair.
They absolutely do. On with the show.
Here we go.
I want to ask you a question. And I think it's important for me to ask you this question so you can update the loyal audience.
Is this exposing?
How's dry January going?
Oh, that's not fair.
I'm just checking in. You brought it up twice.
That's not fair. It's not going. It's wet. It's wet January.
Is it?
It's wet. Ryan's saying this, everybody, because he knows I had a can of Tennent's at 1:30 today.
And that's the part I'm judging. The Tennent's.
I know. It's all like there was in the fridge.
I hope so. I hope it wasn't a choice.
I would choose it. It's funny. You're the third person today to turn their nose up at Tennent's, and I actually don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah, honest to God. I have really low standards about most things.
I think, and maybe this is not a good thing for the English to say, I think it's the worst thing Scotland has ever done.
I think that's okay. I think that's fair.
Is that all right?
I think Scottish people would be okay with that.
I'm standing by it regardless.
Yeah, well, you're all the way down in London, so you've got a good few counties between you and Scotland. You're all right. It was nice. I enjoyed it. It gave me my afternoon buzz. Oh, God, it sounds really dark. Fridays, this is our problem. We should never record on a Friday.
I mean...
That was also my fault. I know. Okay, come on. Let's move on to some nature highlights, surely.
Okay, let's move on to the... Oh, well, first of all, how are you? I haven't even asked how you are.
Oh, I'm great. Yeah. I'm absolutely great. Yeah, I'm actually great because I can see the end of January now.
I can't believe we're still in January.
I know. Can you believe? Wait, do you know what? We've got another podcast to record in January.
I think, though, I only can't believe it's still January because every time I talk to you, you talk to me about it still being January.
Yeah, okay.
If you hadn't mentioned it...
It's just all that I can think about at the moment. I mean, I did chat to a pal today and they were really positive about it. Like, oh, it's over. You know, we're nearly there. The days are getting lighter. They were really like, come on, get over it. So I think I've got to get over myself now.
I hate people like that, though.
Yeah, I know. Positive.
Yeah.
Toxic positivity.
Get out my space.
That's what they call it.
Let's move on to the part of the show where Nadia once again has not focused on a nature highlight and will describe the colour of the sky.
Or the part of the show where Ryan talks about bird of prey again.
Mine's not a bird of prey.
Hallelujah.
Do you want to know what my nature
Is it bird of prey adjacent?
No. It's a bird.
Is it? Good.
Yeah. Songbird.
Okay. Songbird.
Songbird.
Songbird. Go on then.
It happened today, actually.
Did it? Yeah. That's like doing your homework on the last day.
It is, actually. I did feel a bit like that when I saw it, and I was like, that's going to be my nature highlight. And I was like, that's very much scraping the barrel.
It is January, after all.
Yeah, still. It was song thrush singing.
Yeah,
I just enjoy it.
I
just enjoy it. It's a bit like in the noughties with a Girls Aloud song. I just enjoyed it, and I'm not going to deep it any further than that.
It's the arrogant sister of the blackbird. I think blackbirds have got a better song, but song thrushes are called song thrushes. And I've actually, you know what? Up until last year, I resented song thrushes for being called song thrushes when blackbirds have got the best song. And last year, I let them in. I let the song thrush in, and it was really enjoyable. So that's nice.
What I did enjoy about it specifically today is that it was doing a parakeet call.
Was it?
Or something that sounded very like a parakeet
Nice.
call, which
Well,
I thought was
it's
very
just warming
London.
up. They haven't really got. They're not really in their full song yet. They're just playing, or they're dicking around.
They're
a bit, to be
dicking
honest.
around, aren't they? They're just vibing, just doing a bit of a jam. What was your nature highlight?
Well, you know, it was a night. It was one of those nights where you. It was one of those nights where you're like, oh, I'm in for the evening now because it's cold and dark.
Yeah, January.
And friend that I was with was like, let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach because, come on, it's a clear sky. We might see the northern lights, you know, stars are going to sparkle. So we went to the beach and we lay on the beach looking up at the stars. And I know I mentioned stars last week, but this wasn't.
This
the
is
nature
becoming
highlight.
a Ryan story, by the way. This is dragging on.
Right, okay. So anyway, we were lying on and the most lovely thing happened, which was sandhoppers on the beach were like pinging away and landing on our faces and tickling our faces. Which at first I was like, oh, that's gross. But then I was like, oh, that's quite cute. It was just like they were just going, because sandhoppers just like fling themselves. Like they're like little crustaceans. Imagine like little prawns that live on the beach.
That's
and
exactly
just kind
what
of like
I was picturing.
fling themselves to get away from danger or to move just quite haphazardly. So they were just like, bing, bing, bing. So just in the dark, I could feel these little invertebrates just pinging off my face. And actually it was quite nice.
Yeah. Honestly, actually, it sounds disgusting.
When they go in your mouth, yeah.
Honestly, I can't believe that's a highlight for you.
No, it was a low light that I thought, no, Nadia, turn that frown upside down.
Okay, so sandhoppers smashing into your face.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's cool. Well, nerds, before we move away from this segment, this is our first Nature News episode where we're having a guest join us
Guest
to
journalist.
share some nature news with us as well and get involved. But maybe we should bring our guests in now so they can share their nature highlight from the last however long they would like
They'll
to
have
pick.
theirs will kick our ass. I don't even know what it is, but it will
Of course
kick
it
our
will.
ass.
I've even got a feeling I might know it because this person's predictable. As lovely as they are, the first guest joining us on Nature News for January is the lovely Indy Greene. Hello, Indy. Welcome back to the show.
Indy.
Hello, thank you very much for having me, you cheeky sod.
Oh,
Well, come on. What is it? What is the nature highlight for you in the last week? I can't do the last year because I know what you'll say. So let's do the last week because you haven't already messaged me to tell me you've seen one. So.
Well, this is the thing. This is probably the first week where I would be lying if I said it was goshawk because I haven't seen one this week. So
come up.
so I'm have to be honest, as I always would be about every sighting, because every other time I brag about them, I do see them. But it has been a goshawkless week. So you actually stole mine, Ryan. I was going to say song thrush because I've actually really loved hearing them this week. But what else can I say?
Nice.
I know, it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely.
It is a nice
But I'll tell you what
song.
I've enjoyed instead is right outside my bedroom window, there's a massive rookery, and they're all getting going again. So they're all starting to bring in branches already, and they're all sitting in their nests. And every morning and every evening, they all hang out in the same trees, and they're so loud. But it's sort of funny because spring's already in their mind, and yeah, they're just on it. So it's just really nice to sort of have that reminder that the longer nights are on the way, even though I absolutely adore winter. But it's just cool.
You are the opposite of Nadia in your season preference.
I don't mind winter. This year has been a kicker.
Has been a good winter. Mm-hmm.
You've
I
had
was going to say,
I think our definition of kicker is opposite. I just think this has been a really dark, wet one.
yeah. It's been a warm one, that's why.
No, it's been a cold one. I think it's just because I feel like I'm quite energized to get stuff done, and the weather's just gone now. I want to do some gardening, and I've not been able to this year, so that's my problem. But rookery, I've got one near me too as well, and actually of an evening watching them all kicking off is lovely. Question about breeding. No, well, of the avifauna, it's okay.
Oh, good.
Avifauna?
The birds and the bees, Nadia.
my friend had a robin come into their workshop,
Hmm.
and robins usually come in places when they're prospecting for nesting. Is it too early for them to be prospecting?
I
I
wouldn't
feel
have
like
thought so.
robins. Do you not think so?
No, well, they were on about it on. I crossed the picket line last night, and I did watch Spring Watch. I'm joking, and it was very good. And I watched. I'm joking. I'm absolutely joking. And they were filming starlings going into nest, as in holes in a brick wall, and saying that they look like they, prospecting. So I imagine it's one of those things where, yeah, they probably are getting ahead of the game. I can't imagine they'd be building anything, but
No, but just keeping an eye out.
yeah, that'd be my guess. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Also, robins are just cheeky.
exactly. Yeah.
Probably just coming in, seeing what's going on. Brilliant. Well, that's lovely. So we've got rooks, many song thrushes, and sandhoppers.
We've also had some people write in about their nature highlights this week. We had Megan let us know that she had 3 lifers at the weekend, long-eared owl and 2 different species of fungi she'd never seen before.
Wow, that's a good weekend.
Hey.
That is a good weekend, isn't it?
I love
good
the fact
weekend.
long-eared owl has a name. The fungi, no name.
No name. But definitely not seen them before. And then Simon messaged us to say magpies in the snow, hopping around. The colours of their plumage absolutely popping, rather than the more recent overcast days that brings blankets of drabness, which I
that's
thought
my
was quite
winner.
nice. Also
winner.
said, though, with caution in the message, if he's allowed, he'd also like to say daffodils.
No,
No,
this can't be a thing now. Absolutely
I
not.
think you've made it a thing.
Simon, I take back what I said. Magpie have not made the cut this week because you've just ruined it with your audacious behaviour.
I cannot wait for all of spring people to write in to say daffodils.
Absolutely hate daffodils.
Okay, right, let's move on to Nature News, week 37. Nerds, strap yourself in.
Here we
You
go.
both ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Coming to you from Scotland
To London,
and around the globe.
award-winning...
What, really?
Shut up. Conservation journalists Ryan Dalton and Nadia Sheikh.
Bring you into the wild's nature news.
Right, well, Indy, you're the guest, so let's start with you. Would you like to share your story? What kind of nature news would you like to share with Nadia, myself, and the nerds listening?
Okay, do I have the floor? Is the floor mine?
You have the floor,
Floor
man.
is yours.
I have the floor. Excellent. I've wanted the floor all week, and I'm actually sat on the floor, so it's all
I thought
lining
you
up.
were.
Yeah, the chair's there, but it's So I actually have 3, 2 of which are literally one-liners. So
Okay.
the first one is that the Earth, despite our best efforts, is still spinning. Yay!
Ah.
Yes, excellent.
That is good news.
Isn't it good news?
Verified by who? Verified. What is your news source? Verified by what?
Well, I felt a bit dizzy earlier, so I'm assuming it's still
Okay,
going.
great.
And the fact that he's not massively floated up into the air.
Number 2,
Etc. Go on.
which is makes me happy while out in nature. Ryan, this was the thing I was alluding to all day, and I'm very sorry to plug this, but I won't linger on it very long.
Here we go.
But Ryan's best friend, Harry Styles, released a new song today. Woohoo! So I'm elated and I'm very, very happy, and it's
Is it a
made
good
my.
song?
It's a very good song. It's a very different song. It's a very disco techno song, and it was just what I needed at 4:30 this morning. Which you're not joking.
And
Anyway,
there's your second nature news story.
You're right.
Harry,
There are one
Harry
liners.
Styles. Harry Styles is vegetarian. If that's any,
And there's your link.
good for the environment. Anyway, so his mum has bird feeders in her garden. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, now we'll accept it.
Okay, thank you. So on to the actual nature news I've come here to talk about, which is seagrass.
okay.
This is what's known as a priority marine feature. I learned recently. I didn't know it was known as that. I suppose kind of similar to a keystone species.
Way to make
and
something not sound sexy.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So a maximum kind of length is it's anywhere between 10 and like 20 centimeters ish. So I suppose normal grass length if it was allowed to grow that long in lovely places. So it lives for anywhere between, I think it's around 3 to 6 months. And it's really important. So it's it's a home for, it's like kind of like fish spawning ground, which is really important, and kind of keeps a bit of the structure together. And also we have seahorses in the UK. I've written down the name here. They're short-snouted and long-snouted seahorses, which we have in the UK around. I think it's mostly the west coast in some of the seagrass beds there. I've never seen one, but I would love to see them, and they hang around in some of the seagrass beds, which is very cool. And they're also very good for carbon storage, and I can never say that word. Is it?
Sequestration.
Thank you very much. That one. You know exactly what I meant. Which is really cool. And the good news is that in the Sound of Barra this week, Nature Scott, one of the few good things they've done, they've found. So that was really harsh.
I think it's accurate, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's quite true at the moment, unfortunately. But good on them for this little bit. Is that they've found? Well, it's a weird thing. They're calling it fairy circles. So they've found new seagrass beds in the Sound of Barra, which is on the Outer Hebrides, just below, sandwiched between South Uist and Barra itself. Really lovely stretch of water, very open to the west, but it's really shallow. So I've been through there on the boat, and there's essentially a very small channel for boats to go through. There's about maybe 6 or 8 meters deep, but the rest is all 3 to 4. So really shallow, beautiful, all sandy. If you had a drone up, it's the beautifulest Bahamas turquoise blue. Really lovely area.
Immediately want to go.
Yeah, same.
It's
I
so
really want
good.
to go.
It's so
with some LA, a little bit of like global warming, little bit of globy W. I bet there's
we
going to
love
be
it.
seahorses up there
Doesn't
before
quite have
we
the
know
ring
it.
to it, does it?
Okay, no. Wow.
It does look like the Bahamas until you step
absolutely.
one toe in that water.
Oh, shut up, Ryan, man.
Oh dear. But does
this mean it's protected now?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm hoping so. They're still trying to work out. I think their confusion at the moment is why it's grown in circles, because I don't think that's very normal, because normally it's just like a bed. But it is just essentially what they call a fairy circle. But while we're on the topic, there's another there's a little organisation I discovered called Sea Wilding, and they're based I think it's around Loch Cragnesh, if I'm saying that right. I've not been there before, but it's just south of Oban, just north of Jura, I think, in that area, quite close to the mainland. And they're a lovely charity that get the local community involved with kind of the repopulation of native oysters and seagrass. They've got quite a good population there, so they're doing really good things. But the good news is that we're seeing more of it. However, we've lost 90% of all seagrass in the UK, half of that 90% within the last 30 years. So, so what their Sea Wilding is doing there essentially is planting more in areas, and then, essentially using it. It's a bit like you do with sphagnum moss. You have the little plugs, and then you let it gradually expand, and that's what they're doing. So, really nice that they've found a new seagrass bed, and hopefully that will spread out a bit, because it's really good conditions for it. But it's just up against pollution and climate change. The warming water is just making it increasingly unsuitable in this area. But it's and boat anchors as well, and dredging that can be.
I was just say dredging must be a big key feature. That's a cool story.
With it being such a shallow area, maybe not so good for dredging.
No, that's the thing.
I don't
think
understand fishing so much.
No, absolutely. I don't think it's. When I was searching the risks, dredging, it said it, but like yourself, I couldn't really figure out why, because it's not really a kind of a. You wouldn't really dredge, because it has to be. I think it doesn't really grow, because it needs obviously a fair bit of light, so it doesn't grow that deep. So pretty much you'd be able to see it. So I think it is more maybe boat anchors. Obviously that might be on a smaller scale, bringing things up. But if you imagine all the chain,
kind of crafts.
Exactly. So I think got to be cautious about where we position those.
Right.
But that's cool. That's cool that they're finding new areas of that stuff, because I kind of, like you said, it's hope. For me, I hear that as a kind of a hopeful story, because you got the situation where this kind of habitat, marine habitat, is in decline, a quite significant decline in a short time span. But then we're discovering new areas of it. It kind of shows that there's there's strong potential there, as long as we input our energy, quite literally, into that. Into the growth of that kind of habitat. It's not the end. Do you know what I mean? That's what this kind of story says to me. It's not over yet. It's still quite strong and able to bring back. Because I mean, these kind of grassland habitat, marine grasslands, are obviously so important. And I've never seen a seahorse in the UK. I've seen pipefish, very similar species, and but I've never seen seahorses, and I would absolutely love to see them. And those kind of habitats would only ever increase those chances, I guess.
Absolutely, that's the thing. It seems a case of just giving it space and. Like I say, doing our best for it and trying to repopulate it in areas that it should be or in areas that it's dwindling. So, sea wilding, they seem to be doing some very good stuff. And but you can read, there's been a good few articles about the Soundabarra fairy circles discovery of the seagrass there. So there you are.
Nice, thanks,
Very
Indy,
cool,
for
I like
sharing.
that.
That's a nice
Nice little
seagrass
positive
story.
one.
Yeah, that's
bother.
really cool.
Yeah. Proper naturey nerdy one, unlike me and Ryan, probably. Hey, look, when you've gone and donated to Into the Wild, you can go donate to Sea Wilding afterwards.
Exactly, but do Into the Wild first.
Do that first.
Do that first. Yeah.
You've got your card out.
Nadia, would you like to go next?
Okay, so this is a story from the Media and Climate Change Observatory. And they have just released their 2025 year-end retrospective where they across the world's media, they review how much climate change is in the news. And it's been obviously another pivotal year where climate change and global warming is like getting bad and has reached new kind of, heights. And sadly, this year, 2025, has seen a 14% drop 14% compared to 2024. It's 14% less media coverage on climate change issues compared to 2024, and that's 38% lower than the highest year, which is 2021. And it says here, in fact, 2025 coverage ranks just 10th in the last 22 years, even though it's becoming more of an issue that's widely understood and where it's getting worse. Media coverage of climate issues is going down.
That is, I mean, how much do you think that's to do with like other things going on?
Well, they do cite here in the story that, they are competing against other stuff. It says here that this was a year when new vocabularies also continued to spike our consciousness. Rage bait, online content deliberately designed to elicit anger or outrage by being frustrating, provocative offences, typically posted in order to increase traffic or engagement with a particular web page or social media account. So like how the internet is being used to pull people's attention and creating rage bait news or just like, grabby headline news, which I fall for so much. Obviously, like there is an increase in that. So there's like a comparative thing going on there. And when comparing the months of 2025 with the same months previous years, a general decrease is observed compared to 2024. The decrease is greater in the press of Africa, just lumped as one place, the Middle East and North America and Europe. It's less pronounced in the press of Asia, Latin America. Not great, really. But I'm interested just that this exists, like this organization exists to monitor. I guess there are all kinds of organizations that are monitoring our media. But yeah, just a little bit of sad news. Interesting, I don't know, who is people like you and I'm reading it and I'm aware of it. So who is it being decreased to? Like, do you know what I mean?
I think, like, I always find this interesting because, I mean, obviously I've not read this article fully and I'm just hearing about it for the first time, but I often think, like, when we're saying it's decreased, are we talking about actual discussing climate change, or does this include if the media is talking about the events that are happening, whether they're linking it to climate change? Because this is, I think, a big issue when we're talking about media reporting on the climate crisis as a whole, because there's so many things our media report on but have no mention of the link of why this thing is happening. If we look at floods in Europe, for example, if that was reported, that would have been reported in the media. As an example, last year there was heavy floods throughout Europe, causing a lot of damage. Was that linked in that media reporting to the climate crisis and change in weather patterns due to increasing temperatures in the UK? If not, then people are just seeing floods in Europe. And there's a lot of people that will not make that link. And I think that's where media get this wrong. So maybe it's a linkage.
I think maybe take a look at the website and have a look at how this is their 7th year, I think, or 9th year where they've reported. So it'd be interesting to look a little bit about what criteria they're using because they're monitoring global media coverage here. And it says here, we continue to pursue this work because methodical tracking of patterns in media representations of climate change or global warming sheds light on what stories are told, what links are made, and what remains untold and less understood. So that's kind of the point that you're getting. They're understanding how the media tells the stories and if they're making those links. So it's how it's reported. So I guess, there might be stories of flooding or, this is an interesting point that we were talking about the other week. Ever since they only started naming storms in 2014, to naming storms, they weren't as it's like Storm Eowyn or whatever. All of these ones, they never named them. But ever since they've started having names, they've got worse. And this is like a joke. No, it's climate change. These big storm incidences are happening more and more and more.
They're just getting worse.
But they're not. But again, there's it's not really being reported on as climate change. So I imagine. Yes, there are lots of news stories that's linked to climate change, but the media coverage isn't linking it.
That's really interesting, though. Like you said, I didn't even know this was being monitored.
I bet everything's monitored. I bet there's coverage of Harry Styles' outfits is probably...
Well, there's one man on this show that will absolutely tell you if there is.
Has there been an increase or a decline in media coverage of Harry Styles' clothes in the last year?
Well, it's gone up. It's gone up in the last 48 hours, mostly through my phone traffic. But that's an amazing resource, though. That's amazing. And what you're saying about the storms at the end again, that's so I've had people not of my generation, older, sort of say
very politely put.
Thank you. I love this show, and just because I remember them all saying why the Met Office issuing severe heat warnings or rain warnings or whatever. It's it used to be called a lovely summer's day, and it's 40 degrees ain't normal. Which year that was, 22 or 23. It's no, these aren't. This isn't just people being more conscious about it now. It's crap.
Actually, that's a really good point because, as someone that lives in an urban area, in a very densely populated and also heavily concrete city, is when we don't have lovely summer's day anymore. For me personally, because I don't find 32 degrees surrounded by concrete a pleasurable environment to be in.
No.
But when I was growing up, I used to love summer. It was great. It was 24 degrees. I could deal with it. It was fun. And I even think now when we're saying record highs, it's we're still talking about them as if it's a good thing to achieve. England's done well this year. Rule Britannia, we've got 32 degrees. It's okay, can we just talk about how and why this is happening?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. The perception of these kind of natural events is a very interesting take. So that, like you said, great to know this is being monitored. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, well, my one's kind of linked to this in a way. My story. This came out only this week as we record this. It came out this Wednesday, which I believe was the 21st of September of January, and it was that the UK homes are going to get £15 billion for solar and green tech to cut energy bills, which I think sounds very good.
I mean, no, I honestly don't know. When numbers are so big and the problem is so big, I don't know what means anything anymore.
So I think when we're looking at green energy, I think the number 15 billion sounds like a lot more than I've ever heard before.
Right, okay.
So
How
that's
many
when
homes is that, though? How many homes is that?
So it's let's go through this article. So it's a plan from the Labour government that is called the Warm Home Plan, and it basically promises to provide £15 billion to households across the UK over the next 5 years, as well as introducing new rights for renters. And I will come on to that in a minute because I've got some things to say. The government has basically said it wants to create a rooftop revolution. Oh my God, stop trying to brand stuff. Stop trying to brand it and just get some shit done. That will aim to triple the number of homes with solar. And lifting 1 million people out of fuel poverty. Now, again, my issue with this story at this point is we are looking at 1 million people out of fuel poverty as a bonus, rather than trying to just get rid of fuel poverty. as
No
a
one
thing.
should be in fuel poverty.
Exactly that,
like
right?
fuel shouldn't be because he lives is not because people are doing
thank
things
you. Yeah,
wrong. We can just. But also, it says triple the amount of homes. What if there was 4 homes? Oh, sorry, that's quick
Yeah,
maths. That's 12 homes
yeah,
then. Like
yeah.
the way it's reported. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no,
I can just hear
it
Keir Starmer's whiny little voice saying it. Go on.
I know there's going to be a lot of things to this, but I think directionally it's a good way to be going. But so basically, this plan was mentioned for the first time in 2024. The plan promised to tackle the national emergency of rising energy bills, but it has taken 2 years for the final plan to come out. And the government has announced that the plan will focus on funding solar panels, heat pumps, and batteries for households across the UK via low-interest loans and grants.
No.
I know. So
I mean, it's
for
not
able
all
to-
bad.
It's not. This is one of these articles that takes critical thinking and nuanced thinking as well. So, for able to pay households, even with the grants, there are likely to be additional costs for installing these technologies. For a heat pump, for example, after the grant has been paid, households still, on average, would need to pay £5,000 for all that technology. But for an average 3-bedroom semi-detached home, installing one of these 3 technologies could save £500 annually on your energy bills. However, the social charity Nesta and green energy charity MCS Foundation have estimated it could be more than £1,000 saving on your energy bills throughout the year.
Our good friend of the podcast, Rory, has got an air source heat pump and he thinks it's brilliant. And he got a grant and an interest-free loan. So you get an interest-free loan for 3 years and you get a grant for it's something like 12 grand, and then you get a grant for 9 grand and then a loan for the extra 3, and then you get 3 years to pay it off without interest. And he sings its praises. So like these things, there's an individual household there now that's got green energy, so it's not all bad. It's just I mean I can celebrate that.
There's one of these. It's one of these stories that the plan needs to come into action, and I think as it does, and like you said, Rory, and there'll be loads of people that have probably because the bit I'm about to say here is part of this plan is already in action. There's just this 15 billion is extra going into this to improve it even further. So like Rory's already benefited from this plan, and there's many other people, and people have multiple different experiences of this kind of grant or issue, and this will all depend on financial situation, your living situation, your energy use total, and what you can actually do. Keir Starmer said, a warm home should not be a privilege. It should be a basic guarantee for people and every family in Britain. Yeah, obviously, thanks for stating the obvious.
So then do that then.
Mm-hmm.
There's another quote saying 15 billion is a substantial commitment and it provides certainty to investors and businesses in the energy market, said Dara Vilas, the chief executive of trade body Energy UK. There's also a quote here from the Reform Party deputy leader that I'm going to skip.
Thank you.
Like, why are we not hearing from the Greens? Why are we not hearing from the Greens in this article? So the original plan focused on ramping up installation of insulation in homes, which was considered a cost-effective way to reduce heat loss from the UK's leaking housing stock. But ongoing controversy with a government-funded insulation scheme, ECO, involving botched installations has led to the scheme not being extended.
Right.
So it's...
Can I just say,
Yeah.
well done for not tripping over insulation installation.
Considering I get tongue-tied very easly,
I know.
I think I smashed that.
You smashed a lot of hard sentences there.
There are a lot of quotes in this article about from different people and their different experiences, which I think are worth hearing from as well. But bearing in mind, it is kind of one of those articles which I don't think everyone's going to have the same opinion on this kind of story, and it could be like specific to your individual scenario. The renters' right reforms that I wanted to talk about, basically this will involve landlords having to make changes to their properties that they're renting out to be more energy sufficient to help their renters.
Right.
So it means some landlords, for example, will have to do this. They will have to maybe put solar on or put heat pumps on. My concern with stuff like this is whilst they will be doing that to improve the energy consumption from renters to keep their bills low and to live in a property that is up to date with different standards, my concern as a long-term renter of 18 years is that price of doing so is usually put on the tenant.
Going to come back to you, baby.
So you can improve old homes and property that people have been renting in for years, I am yet to see an example of a landlord improving a house or home, flat, whatever, for a tenant where that price has not increased in
Been
not
knocked
been
onto
taken
you.
increase in rental prices. Like, it just happens. So
It will always
whilst
go back down.
it will always come back down. So my concern with these kind of stories is, yes, it's an important thing we should be doing for energy use, for green energy, and for improving people's energy bills. My concern for rental people is this means rental prices are likely to go up as this kind of plan goes in. But I think overall as a story, I think it's showing. I think £15 billion is a lot to invest in this market. Do I know if it's going to be a good thing? No, I feel like it could be. I don't trust our country, but those are my thoughts. That's my story.
Amazeballs, thank you for sharing. I guess we don't know. I think it's okay to have a little. It's okay for us to analyze it in the way that we did, but I guess we're increasingly seeing a transition away from gas and to renewables, which is great.
It's
Isn't
great,
it?
Isn't it?
Isn't
It great as we smile?
I don't have. My house is old, and so I can't get an air source heat pump. But I am going to insulate my walls myself. Just letting you know.
Wow, and we will hear about that.
You will, yeah. Well, seeing as though, we've done a lot of climate stuff there, and Indy opened the show with some nice nature stuff, we don't actually have time for this, but do you know what I just Googled before coming on? I was like, I wonder if they found any. I do this every now and then when I'm researching stories. I just Googled to see if any new species have been found. Because
right.
they're always discovering new species. And
Yeah.
it was a check myself moment, because there was a new bird that was actually been discovered a while ago, but like now it's been named an official species. But then like a long list of like I don't know, this is my problem, but like boring things, where it's just like a type of worm and a this, and I'm like, and I feel really guilty for just being like a bird and then ignoring the
Another
others.
fruit fly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right. And
Yeah.
come on, we always upset the fly people.
I just think I'm sorry, and I know I love entomology and entomologists, but
You can't just say it. You
you've
don't
got
mean it.
enough. Do you know what I mean? You've got enough work to do. Stop giving yourself more.
Anyway, they've discovered. Look, let's just, because I feel like if ever there was a group of naturalists that would fuck you up, it's the fly people. I think it's like they're silent, unassuming, but imagine years of just being shat on, like, oh, lepidopterists and like, arachnologists, like they're kind of cool, bit kinky. They're the kinkiest, can I just say, if we're going to categorize.
The arachnologists.
The spider people are the kinkiest, yeah. And
That sounded from experience.
no, but I think like the fly people always get made fun of, so I think they might crack one day. I just think you need to be careful. Yeah. Anyway, there's been a new legless blind amphibian found in northwest India. And honestly, you look at a picture of this thing and it just makes me feel sick. And I shouldn't feel like this about wildlife, but I did. And I'm not going to tell you any more. We haven't got time. We've run out of time, but you can Google it. I'm not going to read its scientific name because if I'm honest, I can't. But yeah, there's a subterranean amphibian species in northwestern India. And it looks like a slimy long thing, and I feel bad for going.
How do we know that the blobfish exists, but we don't know about a legless blind amphibian? How did we not find that?
Subterranean was the key word there.
Oh, subterranean.
Yeah.
Well, it never comes.
It was.
Yeah, but does it never come up? Is this just a worm?
Look, the Zoological Survey of India are the team that found it. I imagine that maybe it's been seen before by...
Sorry, one more thing. Blobfish live deep sea, so we found that.
Did we find them because they washed up once?
But surely one of these amphibians popped up once.
Like this?
I just... just... It's blind. One must have gone in the wrong direction once.
Look. Anyway, we crucially don't have time for this story, so I'm not going to go into depth. But if anyone wants to just Google new species discovered, probably also remember it might just be discovered and recorded by white people. These things probably also had been seen by people from countries.
Unless it's a blind, legless amphibian. Otherwise, they can stay hidden for years.
Look, when you see a picture of it,
It's
you'll think
really annoyed me.
Ryan, this is not on brand for us. All nature is beautiful and of equal value.
I massively disagree with that.
Okay.
Well, nerds, thank you so much for tuning in to week 37 of Nature News, and a huge thank you to Indy Greene for joining us
Thanks,
as our
Indy.
first guest in 2026 to share in Nature News a wonderful bit about seagrass. Thank you for helping us learn about it and also learn about this lovely new site that's been discovered in towards the Hebrides. We will be back next week for week 38. Yes,
hell.
week 38. As always, we're on socials. If you've got any nature highlights you want to share with us, just DM us or email us. And our copy link is in the write-up of this episode. But until next week, look after yourselves, enjoy your nature times, and we'll see you on the next show.
Bye.